All right, welcome to our show. My name is Digital Dove. The other guy, hey, see, I just hit my microphone. That's really professional looking, right? The other guy is Zach Greenberg.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Making Sense. What the heck is this show? Why are you watching it? So I'll give you a little background. So I'm your typical middle-aged guy, I think. I have a small portfolio that I have some guy who manages who I don't even know. I don't think I ever met. I don't even remember how I got to him. Every once in a while, he calls me and goes, "Hey, the stock market's doing great. Stock market's not doing great. We made some money. We lost some money. Here, great." He collects a fee. And that's pretty much my knowledge of the stock market. I know what I generally hear from the news. But all of a sudden, I started hearing about all this other stuff going on, particularly over the last 2 years when people were stuck at home. And a lot of people got involved in this whole new world of finance. Zach is a friend of the family, and he has his own little WhatsApp chat group that he invited me to join about stocks. And I joined it, and I called Zach a couple days later and I said, "Zach, I have absolutely no idea what pretty much 100% of the things that you post in your group mean. And I'm sure there are lots of other people like me, either younger people or middle-aged people, older people, who have no idea about this whole new world of finance. And wouldn't it be a great idea if we got on and talked about it and educated people?" So we are not professionals, certainly not. And this is really just for entertainment purposes. But hey, you might learn something. So, Zach, let's take it away and talk to people about some of the new things that are going on in the world of finance.
Thanks, Dove. I just want to start off and give a little bit of like my quick Zach round. So I started investing like the end of high school, like for the first year. So this was 5 years ago. For the first year, I literally just had $100 in my stock account, and I used Robinhood, and I literally just like let it sit for a year, like put it in a few stocks I like, and was just like watching the market for like a year just to like learn about like some trends, patterns, and I made $2 in a year. So I
By the
was
way, let me interrupt you, but you said Robinhood, which was one of the things that I had no idea what that I heard about it. We're actually going to show people what Robinhood is and how to use it. All right. So
and,
you made about $2 using your own Robinhood
yeah.
account.
And then I felt pretty comfortable about it. So I was like, you know what? It's time for me to like take up, like move up my game a little bit. I took out some extra money that my dad was saving up for me over the years, and some money that I earned from like camp and stuff, and decided to put in like a few thousand more dollars, like 2, 3 thousand. And then I put it like in Amazon, which like went up from like $1,300 to like 3 grand. And, then ended up like doubling my portfolio in like 3 years. So that was like my main investment. And then over the past year, like you said, like it's been pretty crazy with what's going on. I think COVID's really brought out like a new era of trading. Like before, it was a lot of just like financial professionals like investing, and that was pretty much just it. But apps like Robinhood have come around, and with people just bored at home over COVID, like so many more people, like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are now getting involved in the markets. And it's really shaking up the structure because people are able to join together to help pump up stocks. People are able to like share information together, and it's no longer just a secluded thing for professionals, but now it could be for normal people like me and you, Dove. And
So your average consumer can now do essentially what the hedge fund and Wall Street guys have been doing for years, essentially.
even if you don't
Okay.
know what the terms are, like it's not like the concepts, like it's just pushing some buttons. Like you just got to know which buttons to push. You don't need to necessarily know like all the fundamentals behind it, which hopefully we'll cover as the show goes along. But it's really just pushing some buttons, and obviously you want to know how to push the right buttons, and hopefully we'll go through that in our journey together.
All right. So why would somebody want to start investing this way as opposed to the way that I've been doing up until now, where I just have some money, some guy does it, I don't really pay attention to it. Hopefully it'll grow and I won't lose it all like I did in what was that, 2008 or whatever, when that wasn't a good year for my stock thing that some guy managed that actually he kind of fell asleep at the wheel and
Yeah.
lost a lot of money. But hey, yeah, okay.
I actually remember like at the beginning of COVID, like in March, I remember I was at a friend's house, and like he was also into stocks, and I would just, we were just hanging out, and we just turn on the news. Like our college was like shut down for supposed to be a week, and ended up being the next year.
Year and a half or so, right?
Yeah, and we were just watching the news, and like the whole stock market like got destroyed, like in like a 1 day span, like it dropped like an insane amount for like the next 2, 3 days. it just kept dropping. I remember watching news with my friend, and I'm like, wow, like this is the end of the world. And like some people on the news were like, this is literally it, you know? And then within a few months, the market like was back up in like even better than ever. And like, I actually remember like, this is like a concept that, you know, I'm going to go into more and more, but if you like believe in a play and the play dips, like just double down. Like if anything, like if you know the fundamental reason why you're in it, like there's no reason to be too scared. Like it's all about patience. And if there's a dip, you know, average down. It's a great opportunity.
Okay, so let's actually quickly translate for somebody like me the words you just said. So a dip would mean when a stock goes down, right? A play would mean your idea of what you're doing with a stock, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like let's say you have money in AT&T and then it's trading at $30 and it drops in one day to $20. But you think long term it'll hit $50. So for you, it doesn't matter like that it dropped to $20. Like it's still on your way to your goal of $50. So
that's doubling down means just hang on to
you
it.
can put in more. You can either hang on to it or you could put even more money and average down your cost. Like maybe you have 100 shares at $30 a share. So if you buy another like 100 shares at $20, your average goes from 20 plus 30 divided by 2 is $25 a share. So you have a better average.
You end up with more shares at a lower cost, basically.
Yeah, and then if it hit, and then hopefully if your play was right and like that's why you got into it and like it goes up, then you'll have made even more money. So the dip is naturally good for you. But that's like a side point. But I think your main point of like going to financial and like just professionals and giving them your money, like that's definitely a good safe way to go. But I think just in general in investing, like I think it's important to know what you're doing. You know, there's higher risk, higher reward, but if you know what you're doing, you obviously don't have to pay the fee to the financial professional. You can learn how to do it yourself. You can use your risk tolerance to go however risk you want to do. And there's even like ways of doing safe stuff. Like you could put money in mutual funds or ETF, or I'll go into this more later, but you know, the safe ways of investing, and then there's also riskier ways, but there's not necessarily like it could also be good for you to go to a financial professional, but I'm not discarding that, but I think it's also important for you to know how to do it on your own, or even just for like learning's sake. It's definitely interesting.
So like why pay somebody to kind of sit there and do or not do stuff when you can potentially have some fun doing this, potentially make some money, potentially lose money also, but also you can learn basically. And now the tools are available for you to do it literally from your phone with a couple of clicks, both researching the information as well as actually doing trades, etc. on your own are now very easy, which didn't used to be the case.
So yeah, I'd say there's no reason not to learn how to do it on your own. Like if you want to also go to professional, you totally can do that. But if you find that just doing it on your own, you're actually getting better returns than the professional, then why would you go to the professional? Like you can do both.
I got it.
There's no downside.